Hi there, it's Rob here from Gym 10. Hope you're well. And today we are in our lifestyle tips talking about emotional eating. And this is part 2 of the series where we're talking about how can we curb emotional eating. I was training people this week and I was saying, I need something to sit on whilst I'm doing my training sessions, whilst I'm doing my talks. Somebody pointed out the obvious of using the spin bike. So I'm going to do some cycling at the same time as talking to you about emotional eating. Okay, which brings me on to something that's really, really important. So we're looking about calorie burn, really, really important. Of course, the more calories we can burn each day, obviously the more efficient our engine is. And if we're eating it with a calorie responsible diet, then we're going to be in the right frame of mind for eating the right amount of food for our system, right for our body. So doing a little bit more exercise is one way of course, increasing our metabolism in terms of the amount of work, amount of calories we're using each day. But we could also think of different ways that we could not make it so much exercise induced, but maybe a bit more NEAT. And NEAT is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's the amount of calories you burn doing your day-to-day activities. Roughly, in the average person, that equates to about 10% of the total number of calories that you put into your anatomy each day. Exercise is a different form of burning calories, and planned exercise, like what I'm doing right now, only equates to about 5% of what it is. So when you think about the calories in total, that leaves you with a massive amount of calories that are burned throughout the rest of the day for no other reason. And those no other reasons are quite a shock to most people when I explain it to them, because 70% of everything you burn is your basal metabolic rate. That's basically you breathing, living, excreting, feeding, everything else in your day to day. So that accounts to about 70-75% of everything you're going to burn. And then the other part is the quality of food that you put into your anatomy. So the higher levels of protein, the more digestion is required, the more breakdown of proteins, and roughly about a third of all calories that come from protein is used to break it up into the right amino acids for your body. Now, to put that in a different way of saying it, the amount of calories you get per gram of protein is about 4 calories. The amount of per gram of carbohydrates is also 4 calories as well. Except for you're going to burn up around 1/3, 1/4 of those just by your body breaking it down to synthesize the protein out of it. Okay, so that's a really, really cool thing. So think about the quality of the food that you're putting in. So let's think of some things that we can do to stay away from emotional eating. Emotional eating is normally down to you're not getting enough of the feel-good factor into your day. It could be that you need a bit more dopamine, a bit more serotonin, a bit more love, a bit more happiness, a bit more social interaction. All of these things require you to think, do you know what? I'm actually going to put some food into my body because it will just make me stop and let my brain process. It will make me feel good because it will remind me of something that was, really positive and happy in my life. So all of these things can affect you in your day-to-day. So doing a bit of exercise and a bit of movement will hopefully release more feel-good factors into your body, and as a result, you'll want to snack less. It could well be that you do what I've done right here. I've set my laptop up onto my handlebars of my bike. Obviously, you need to make sure it's safe for you to do this. Okay, and it could be that whilst you're at work, you're working on your posture, sitting up nice and straight, you're typing away, you're doing your work and exercising, away you go. As a result, you increase your metabolism. Yes, you're going to burn more from your exercise. However, there's a really good important thing that goes with all of this. And any weight training or any weight loss diet or weight gain diet that you're going to do in your life will always say at the bottom of it, in tandem with a healthy living lifestyle and doing regular exercise and drinking plenty of water. Those are the 3 which are pretty much, in my opinion, the legal sentiment at the bottom of any diet. What we're looking at here is, can we get you to improve your fitness level into that as well? So by doing things like strength training, you'll build up the amount of muscle fiber in your body. Correct, that's true. By doing more cardio work, specifically HIIT training, you will build up the more amount of mitochondria within your muscles. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of your body. They need to be, they need to be activated, and therefore we need to keep them growing in number. And the more mitochondria you have, the more powerhouses you have, the more calories you'll burn. But conversely to that is, and in addition to that, I should say, is the fact that you will burn more calories at rest and during exercise, because stronger muscles need more energy more often, more regularly. So we're trying to make you into that powerful unit all over. Okay, and as a result, it's going to help you reduce boredom. It's going to help you feeling like you've deprived stuff. And that takes me on to my final little point for this tip, which is thinking about things that you deprive yourself from. I was training a client today and she was like, oh, I love chocolate. And I'm like, that's great. Don't deprive yourself of it. If you don't think of a pink elephant, guess what? You're thinking of a pink elephant. Think about it with your chocolate as well. Maybe think, is it just the taste in your body that you need? Because it's not necessarily the calories. I don't think anybody ate chocolate and thought, wow, there's another 40 calories that's going into my body. But everyone associated it perhaps with Easter or Christmas or birthdays or something else that made them feel good. So maybe it's just that sensitivity that your tongue associates the dopamine release to make you feel good. So why not do something simple like get a block of chocolate and grate it? Okay, now that requires a bit of effort to do that, so you burn a few calories, so hey, that's a winner, right? But the second part is stick that into the fridge, keep it nice and chilled and cool, okay? And when you need a little bit of a taste of it, grab a little bit and place it on your tongue and savor it, okay? So all these comfort foods, how do you stop that emotional eating? Well, have a smaller portion of it, but actually stop and enjoy it. How many times have you been to the cinema with a big bar of popcorn, for example, and then by the end of the film, or halfway through the film, you've looked and gone, wow, where did that go? And that's because you've not actually been focusing your brain into what you're actually doing and what you're actually eating. So take that moment to stop. And then I would also add into that, with those little shavings of chocolate, or it could be cheese, it might be a little bit of parmesan, just have a little bit of flavor and a bit of grin onto it, is also think about, is your body thirsty? So have that pint of water before you have that little taste of chocolate. And the reason is your body might just be thirsty, craving out for it. And if your body is thirsty and you give it chocolate, and for example, that chocolate contains, 40% water, for example, you've got to eat a lot of chocolate to get the hydration required for your body. So have that pint of water and then think, naturally, do I still want that little taste? Do I want to have that time out? Have that bit of chocolate if you need it as the grated form or the grated cheese or whatever you need, okay? Because you won't just consume a whole heap of empty calories, which is going to put you into your calorie surplus, which is going to make you gain weight. And of course, with that then, you need to accept that the food that you ate, okay, was important to you, okay? Doesn't mean overindulge in it. It does mean enjoy it and make sure that you're happy with it. Because, and I said this exact parallel today, all of these weight loss groups where they celebrate how much weight you lost, right? That's fine in a check-in and everything else. But if you gained weight or you lost weight, and in your head you're going, hey, I ate, I go back to chocolate, but I ate 200 grams of chocolate earlier that day, and that's why I gained 2 pounds. That's really unhealthy, because it probably wasn't just that 2 pound gain of 200 grams of chocolate that did it. It was probably the net effect of a load of stress in your week and the fact that you weren't perhaps doing as much exercise that week or as much movement, you didn't do chores as well as you could have done, work got in the way of you, too much cortisol, too much stress. These are all parts to it. So if you do have a change in the scales and in the numbers and it's not what you wanted to see, then you need to reflect on the whole week, not just on one thing that went wrong in your mind. And again, I put it down to positive mental attitude to what you're eating for your food, because if you're sat there going, that was a wrong choice, and that was bad, and woo is me, you're going to do that more and more often because your body loves pain, is susceptible to looking on the negative side of things all the time, because that's how we defend ourselves in human anatomy. So loads of information there as always. So think about it. Think about how could you do what I'm doing right now. Maybe cycle on the spot as you're teaching or doing some work. Think about how could you move more throughout the day. Think about if you're going to have that little taster of some food, maybe having it in a smaller shaving form rather than, like a big block that's, going to cause you to go into a massive calorie surplus. Take the time out to enjoy the food and enjoy who you are. That's really, really key. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, as always. If you did that live or you did it on replay, let me know some information about it. If it's helped you in any way, then that's fantastic. Please share this out to people and get them loving. Knowledge is power at the end of the day. So good stuff. As always, I can help in any way, get in contact, and see you next time for the next one. Raw training. Cheers. Oh, it was good on my legs. I enjoyed that. Oh, good way of getting a little bit extra exercise. That was